Hello and welcome to the Recursion Cafe, where we play games from the discard pile. In today's game of Unmatched, we have Daredevil facing off against Bruce Lee. On the left is myself playing Daredevil. If he has 2 or fewer cards in hand, he can blind boost his attack or defense by milling the top card of his deck and adding the boost value. He's pretty good at playing with his back to the wall. On the right we have Paul playing Bruce Lee. So at the end of the turn, Bruce Lee can move up to 1 space, which makes him amazing against other melee fighters. And of course it is a battle of 3 move melee fighters who are solo. So we start off with a 1-inch punch. Bruce Lee darts in, does his signature maneuver and steps away. So that's 2 damage already on Daredevil. Daredevil, I believe, is going to maneuver and then play through adversity, which means he runs through Bruce Lee and runs back to the space he started in, dealing him 1 automatic damage. So both players at 7 cards, playing pretty cagey so far. Bruce Lee steps in, and here's the attack. We have Momentous Shift into Son of a Boxer. So Momentous Shift, because Bruce Lee moved, is a 5, dealing 2 damage through, and then Son of a Boxer deals 2 damage back to Bruce Lee before he steps away again. Already we can see how strong that ability is. It sounds very simple on the card, that stepping away, but it's incredible against other melee fighters. Daredevil steps in to attack, and it's a Devil of Hell's Kitchen into a skirmish. So no damage done, but Daredevil is able to shuffle in the cards in his discard pile to start recurring them. For those of you less familiar with Daredevil, he has a 22 card deck instead of the regular 30, but it plays to his theme of fighting through exhaustion, and he's able to recur cards in his deck with specifically Devil of Hell's Kitchen, which he wants to do. Bruce Lee steps in again, keeps up the pressure, and attacks with a Jeet-Kune-Do, the first one of the game, which is the cancel. So Daredevil is unable to heal with Take a Knee, and Bruce Lee continues his assault because he gains an action with every Jeet-Kune-Do maneuver. Jeet-Kune-Do attack card, I should say. Here's the next one, and it's another Jeet-Kune-Do. It is the High Straight Lead, which is essentially a Momentous Shift with an action gain into another Take the Knee. I think I mill a feint off the top, which means I heal for 1, but I have taken 2 damage, so I take net 1 damage. We're down to 12 health against 11 already. Paul plays a scheme that allows him to recur one of his Jeet-Kune-Do cards without losing any temper, and he'll take the Intercepting Fist back. Daredevil is definitely one of those characters where every card, if you can cancel it, is especially good, so having an offensive cancel with an action gain is very strong. Here comes another attack, and it's a Momentous Shift to finish the combo into Son of the Boxer. Again, we both take 2 damage from that exchange. So 10 to 9, and Bruce Lee steps back. At this point, I'm feeling alright about this. But you still have to be careful, because if you get trapped into combat with Bruce Lee and you run out of cards, it's pretty bad. So I maneuver away. And it looks like Bruce will recur another Jeet-Kune-Do card from his discard back into his hand with the scheme there. Bruce steps up onto the high ground, and I, as Daredevil, just step away because I'm playing the long game and I like having cards in hand because Bruce makes me burn through a lot of them with his combos. It looks like Bruce boosts his maneuver with Little Dragon and does an Intercepting Fist into a feint. I can see that coming. He has a lot of cards in hand. He wants to attack me. I just want to head off that combo at the pass. And Bruce steps away. Feint's also very good against Bruce Lee, as you might imagine. It looks like I use the First Aid Kit. I heal 2 and I draw a card. I'm trying to tactically maneuver around and make the most use of the environment as possible. So it looks like Bruce steps in, and it's a regroup into Son of a Boxer. I predicted he was going to hit me way harder than that, but it was just a regroup. One downside about Daredevil is that he doesn't have many quote-unquote feint cards. Not actual feints, but cards that you can just throw in and not really care about. Regroup is pretty fantastic for that. It cycles a card, and you might draw out a big defense from your opponent. So Daredevil steps in to attack, and it's a man without fear into a feint. That's absolutely fine. Ordinarily I'd be able to blind boost that, but feint cancels that. And I'm reasonably happy, because if I draw out the feints, that means the feints aren't there for the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. Bruce Lee decides to retaliate immediately. I do take a second to think about this. What could it be? He has a handful of at least a couple of Jikendo cards, so I'm not sure. It's a grappling hook into a skirmish, which is 2 movement-based after combat effects. It looks like I take a damage through that. I move 2 spaces, and then skirmish allows Bruce to either catch up or to step away. It's quite powerful having that knowledge afterwards. It looks like Bruce steps away and gets the high ground again, standing next to that fire hydrant that is inexplicably on top of the roof. I step in, and of course, through adversity, deals another damage, and I don't want to be standing next to him afterwards. So we're 10-8. Again, things are pretty even. I don't really want to engage Bruce up there on the high ground with that +2, so I'll just step away, and Bruce will have to come to me. I believe Paul is at 7 cards at this point, so he has to boost in. Unfortunately, most of Bruce's cards are pretty good, so it's tough to decide what to boost with. There is a boost with the Be Like Water, which is a boost 4. It's pretty significant, and it also means that's 1 less recursion card out of his deck. It is a high straight lead, a momentous shift basically, into a take a knee. I again mill a feint, so I take 2 damage and heal 1. We're down to 9-8. The combo continues though. What's it going to be? There are some nunchucks, so it looks like Paul is going to keep on the offensive, and it's likely to be another Jikendo. We'll see if I have any movement effects to get me away, or any cancels to stop the combo. And it's feint into Son of a Boxer, so that was a Duke by Paul. It was a 3 value feint into Son of a Boxer, which didn't ultimately have any impact. And at this point in the game, it's important to know each player's discard pile, so I have a look through Bruce's discard pile before stepping into attack. It's a Devil of Hell's Kitchen into a Be Like Water. So we both ultimately get what we want. I get a damage through and I get to recur some of the cards in my deck, or some of the cards back into my deck, and they're all pretty solid. A feint, a take a knee, a Son of a Boxer, and a through adversity. And Bruce gets one of his cheats back, so everybody's happy. Of course, it's the offensive cancel one. So we're 9 health to 7, but I am stood right next to Bruce, and Bruce decides to take off, which I'm absolutely fine with. So I will simply maneuver and have a breather and get a feint back, because having defensive feints against Bruce is exceptionally strong. So Bruce looks like he discards a card. I will step in and then through adversity, keeping my card total the same that turn and bringing Bruce down to 6. Bruce plays a Bring It On, bringing me nice and close, and here comes the attack. It is a offensive cancel into a grappling hook, which means my plan to fly away from Bruce's combo is scuppered. Fortunately, no damage done, but the combo continues. Thematically, I must say this matchup is pretty cool. It's aggressive combo punching against endurance and grit. Who's your money on? There are a whole bunch of cheats that we haven't seen so far, so I'm still worried about what they might be. But always starting with an offensive cancel seems like a good idea, to be honest. And it's a downward psychic into a grappling hook, so it's good that I kept one grappling hook in reserve just in case this happened. A through adversity gets discarded, but I do get to step away to the high ground, to the fire hydrant, and Bruce can't continue his combo. That being said, he still has 2 actions, so is he going to step in and continue, or is he going to step back? Looks like he steps in to continue and keep the pressure up. I will use the fire hydrant for a 4 value feint, which does cancel the damage and does cancel the auto damage as well. And then Bruce takes a step back because he doesn't get the action gain. I run away, and again, I'm playing to the environment. I'll stand by that post box. At this point, I play a breather for another feint. I think that might have been a mistake. I might have had enough defense cards in my hand to feel safe, but I probably should have saved that for a devil. In any case, Bruce Lee reads a map, I use the post box in return, and it is a 3-value feint into a 4 skirmish. So I take a damage, but neither of us move. So already I've used the feint that I got back from the breather, which isn't a good sign, to be honest. So I step away, Bruce maneuvers into the middle of the map, just to get within range and cut off any potential escape routes. And I think at this stage we're just maneuvering and considering our options. I am quite low on cards, as Paul points out, and it's getting pretty tight. So I play a Man Without Fear into a Be Like Water. This probably should have been a Devil of Hell's Kitchen, but I decided that Bruce probably had the feint in hand. So I mill a Devil, making it a 5 value, into his 3 defense, so the 2 damage goes through. However, he does get a offensive cancel back in hand. So here is a regroup into a take a knee. I heal 2 health from milling a Son of a Boxer, so I'm back up to 10 to 4. However, I believe I'm out of cards in my deck, which is not ideal. And if I've counted right, Bruce still has 1 feint left. And the odds of him drawing it, or having drawn it already, are pretty high. So he decides to run away. I will, through adversity, to make up the distance, and Devil, of course, into a feint. Because at this point, there weren't that many options left that it could have been. So now I have 1 card left in hand, and no deck, and Paul correctly identifies it as a feint. And at this point, I'm pretty stuffed. So I have 10 health to 2, and Bruce has only 2 cards left in deck, but it is his turn, and he can action chain for days. So if he is able to do enough damage to me, to fight off, to let me exhaust first, then he wins. If I can somehow manage to make him exhaust before I run out of health, I win. It's pretty tight. I decide not to defend. It is a short lead hook, gaining an action. We swap places. I'm down to 7. I think I have to defend the next attack, whatever it is, to be honest. There's a nunchucks into a wrist lock, into a feint, so that's 2 damage through, but I cancel the card draw and I cancel the action, which is unfortunate for me, because him drawing cards at this point is really not so bad. But that's me out of options, so Paul can take his time to calculate the avenues here. I've only got 5 health left, I can't do anything. There's a 3 attack value, I'm down to 2 health, which means I maneuver next turn and it's over. As long as Paul doesn't run out of cards exactly right now, yeah, he's fine. And then I maneuver and I'm exhausted, and there is the game. Good game, Paul, that was pretty tight. I had a good time with that one. Thanks for watching, catch you guys next time.